Hookup Academy.
I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP, leave you don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with QuiQui Symone. Life out loud.
Did you miss me?
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Come on,
everybody? What's up?
Come on.
What's up? What's up?
I need all my brothers and sisters out there.
What's up? What's up?
Glory, glory.
Everybody, what's up? What's up?
This that remix.
Remix.
I know you think gospel music has gone too far.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, Uncle Kirk?
What's going on? Welcome to the Life Out Loud podcast with QuiQui Symone and B Wonder.
And you know this, man.
And you know this, man.
And you know, it's like, how are you doing on
How
this
are
fine
you?
Saturday?
How are you today?
I'm blessed.
blessed. We all off key. Well, no, I'm gonna say I am.
Don't speak for me, Bubba.
Cat wet and singing. Cat wet and singing. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Life Out Loud podcast. We are so delighted. We are so happy that you are tuned in.
Welcome
to this episode. We've got a great episode, a great pink elephant for you today.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm so excited.
What? I think
And
I'm gonna see
just
two
can't
elephants
hide.
today.
You gonna see two elephants.
And they pink.
Oh, okay. Are they both hot pink? Or they both pastel pink?
Listen, both hot pink.
Both hot pink. That's right, because we hot.
Listen.
Hot, open, no, humble, open, and transparent.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot. Coming in hot. I don't know the song.
I do.
No, I know what song it's referencing, but that's the only part that I know is coming in hot. That's it.
Facts.
But we thank you again for listening to the podcast every episode, every week,
much.
every Thursday. Thank you for listening, for liking, for commenting, for sharing, all that great stuff. We appreciate you. And we're going to continue to grow in this particular arena, in this community. There will be more stuff coming from the Life Out Loud where maybe one day you guys will be able to see us, right? It won't just be audio.
It's layers and levels.
Yes. And we are embracing where we are right now. So we are not even tripping off of anything. We're just doing the best we can do with what we have. So
Facts.
Yes, please keep that in mind.
What does the Bible say, baby? The Bible says you be faithful over few and make you rule over many.
Oh, that's what the Bible said.
Yes, it does, boo.
I thought it said if you be faithful, if you be faithful, you be faithful.
You better be faithful. In anything you do, faithful.
In everything. Everything. Okay. And who was that speaking to us?
Grandma Pudding.
Grandma. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I love it. So we got Grandma Pudding. We gonna have to have her to come on,
Yes,
every
baby,
now and then.
You just don't know,
Oh, sometimes the grandmas be saying stuff that be a little inappropriate. Grandmas do be just saying what they feel.
Everybody's grandmother either.
This is true. Are you Cat Williams' grandmother?
But you ain't lied. No, ain't no Cat Williams. Who Cat?
Oh my goodness, you guys. We are having way too much fun. Because why? Because we are tired.
Listen,
we are super tired.
Is an understatement.
But we are so thankful that you guys are listening. And we are really delighted to be able to bring you great content. And with that stated, on the podcast, what we talk about, we talk about real issues, real perspectives, real solutions. And that's just what we do. That's how we do it on here. Like we like to talk about the stuff that people don't like to talk about, which is called our pink elephant. But before we get into it,
yes, I have a question.
Oh, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Grandma Puddin' got a question?
I have a question. Lord knows my heart that I have me a question.
Oh, okay.
What is the biggest lesson you never learned?
The biggest lesson I never learned was, I would have to say, is how to properly save money. That is probably the biggest lesson, because my family always was check to check, let's get this over here to take care of this over here, and then once we covered that, then it was kind of like, okay, we can breathe over here, but we got something else going over here, and now we gotta try to figure that part out, and we gotta wait to see, okay, what money can we come up on for this to take care of this, while that might be taken away from something else. So it was kind of always like being in survival mode. So I don't think I really learned as a young adult, as, it was just, I don't think I really learned how to properly save money.
I can attest to that, because like even in my youngest years, I was just like, yo, I'm sick of this. Well, you know how the mindset, and for me, my biggest lessons I never learned how to take advantage of the wisdom that was imparted to me.
Okay.
In a sense of, just like you say, one dynamic aspect of that is not saving money. Like you say, like when you're not used to making this kind of money every week, you looking at it in your hand like, okay, what I do with this? Right. Put it in the bank, dummy. Put it in the bank. What else you do with money? Don't just spend it out. Put it in the IRA. Put it in a trust fund. Set something up.
Yeah, I didn't know about none of that.
Your legacy will thank you for later.
I was like, how do people do that? I literally was like, how do people do that? Like, I was like, where do people get enough money to live every day, every 2 weeks, and still put money away? I was trying to figure that out for a good portion of my life, because I was like, oh, this family going on this trip, they got how many kids? And they went on this? Oh, when did you have time? Where were you able to?
They had it all mapped out.
Exactly. I was like, how do you do that? And I think that that's what it comes from having the lack of understanding how to properly save. It's not to say that, you can't figure out how to get by. Right. I learned how to get by, but to actually learn how to properly save, that wasn't something that I learned.
I think another thing that we really kind of struggle with here is the amount that we save. Because we feel like we got to have a whole lump sum in order to consider that as saving.
Right.
Even if it's $5-10, like putting away every check, or $20 or $50, or you know what, I'm gonna do $100 over here and not touch it. So like for me, I have a don't touch stash, and then of course my savings. So my don't touch stash is I try to whatever extra income I get in, I put in there, and I don't touch it, whether it's cash, whether it's Uber. If it's Uber, I just go ahead and take it out of the account and just put it there, because I wanted to have a certain amount where I could put in there, and then I can also put in my savings account.
Right.
So I have a stash for a rainy day. If I ain't got any savings, I can go here, and that's for emergency.
I'm gonna say my rainy days, I just be like, please just don't be no hurricane. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna sit in the house. You can rain all you want. I'm gonna sit in the house.
Facts. Pretty much. It's a lot of lessons I've learned. And the crazy thing is, I really haven't really paid attention or noticed it until my older adulthood years. Right. Like, I realized where that came from, why I haven't learned that. Right. And it wasn't that it wasn't taught to me or passed down to me. It's just I didn't apply what was taught to me.
Oh, well, I would say that I never learned. I'm just saying I never learned how I learned, like I said, how to survive, and how to manage and move,
Yeah.
but not how to save.
Like, okay, I can move this over here. This gonna last me till this here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take this from here, and I'm gonna put this here, and then when I get this here, I'm gonna put that back there. But then, dog, I gotta get this here. So it's just like,
Yeah, and
you're just
all
like
the time
a
stuff
spider.
always comes up. Stuff always comes up. It's just like, oh, but I really need this. And, you know, like today, something popped up on my phone, which I have been telling you about. Like, yeah, I want to go ahead and get those. And then all of a sudden it was on my phone and bam, it was just like, oh, like right there.
hands reach.
Yes, right there. Just like, here's a marketing thing. Okay, we heard you say to your brother that this is what you wanted to get. And bam, there was an advertisement on Facebook. And I was like, and on Instagram. I was like, well, dang, I guess I do need to go ahead and get it. So, and so at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, it was always stuff that goes to that impulse shopping that we talked about,
It does.
you know, a couple episodes ago. But
it could be like a trigger. It could be
yeah,
like, oh, you tempted me. Why you do that?
definitely. Well, we want to get into our pink elephant of the week. And our pink elephant, I know that herd is about to come on in. I want to make sure that y'all get this herd because it's coming. And I know it's finna shake Boy Wonder's world.
Oh! Oh! You want to do that to me?
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
That's our pink elephant. And what that signifies is that we're getting ready to talk about a topic that we tend to shy away from, things that people don't like to talk about, stuff we sweep under the rug, or stuff that we just don't want to deal with. And I think that we do a great job of talking about these different pink elephants or these topics. And hopefully they've been helping people because I know that they've been helping me.
Facts.
So this week, our pink elephant of the week is, who's your ride or die? Who is your ride or die? And when you just think of that, who's your ride or die? We really sometimes we think of like that best friend, or we think of that person that's always been there for us. We think about you know, just that person who we just feel like we can't be without.
Right.
You know, like, that's my best friend. That's my best friend. Yeah, that's your ride or die, right?
Right.
And many times, the people that we hold close and dear really aren't the people that always have our best
That aren't
interest.
dear or close. Ooh.
And
Bars.
I just really I think about many times the people that come in our life. We hear about people are seasonal. You know, there are people that just come in your life for a short amount of time.
Yes.
That's what comes to mind. But there are some people who are truly covenant. But what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about who's your ride or die, and how did you even come into friendships like that?
Yes.
And I think that there's no one way, you know,
Not
to
at
come
all.
into a friendship. I think there are different ways. One of the ways, like if we even start as an adolescent, you know, as a young child, you know, when you go to school and, you know, you don't know nobody, you in elementary school or
Right.
kindergarten or whatever, and somebody just come over just to talk to you, or they share their lunch with you or something.
And it's an instant.
Yes,
Like
like an
it's-
instant connection.
Hey, you want to trade? Or hey,
Yeah.
I got some cookies. Want some?
Yeah.
just an instant. It's just like an instant contact, like an instant moment to where it's like your discernment kind of kick in. It's like even as babies, you know, babies have good discernment. They know. I don't want you holding me. I don't know you like that.
True.
And so even with little kids, you know, they understand that, like, okay, I do not feel comfortable around you. I don't like you like that. Why is you touching me? Or why is you even looking at me? go over there. And they will not crack a smile.
This
will
is
frown.
true because kids do tell the truth.
But like when you see kids interacting with other kids, it's just like an instant connection.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would definitely agree to that.
especially with the adolescent years, it's like the most easier year. Well, if that's even a word, but it's the easiest time that to where you can really call someone your friend, and they actually portray that every day, just
That's
on
true.
recess, on the playground.
Yes, you
You
just
know,
waiting to get the
you
recess
just-
to play with them.
That's it.
And I totally agree with that. When kids come together
Mm-hmm.
in school, it's typically they stay with the same kids
They do.
all the time.
Even throughout middle school, into the high school.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Unless your mama tell you, don't play with that girl over there, don't play with that boy over there. Like, yeah, you don't know what's going on at their house. You can't go over there to their house. So
That's 1,000.
but that's typically, when we're kids, we want friends. We want people to accept us and to like us and to want us. And that goes throughout all of our adult life as well. But that's where we begin our friendships. And we really don't have a prerequisite as to what you have to do to be my friend. All you have to do is just say, hey, can you be my friend? Okay, hey, you want to play? And that's automatically your friend now.
Exactly. And if you don't grow up with that same friend through middle school, then that's where it's kind of a little transition where you got to kind of like start over again and meet new people. And then in transition to high school, it's the same thing, because normally like the people that I grew up with from my childhood, like we literally grew up from the city, from like right down the road from me. So went to the same high school.
For me, I didn't like every year. We moved all the time. And so it was like I was meeting new people all the time. I think the total number of times that I have moved in my lifetime, probably I want to say is around the number 17.
Ooh.
I've moved about 17 times.
And how many years?
Yes, we're not going to talk about my age.
Okay.
But
Cut that from the record. We will not be talking about anything that got anything to do with anything.
But I will say from the time that I can remember, I want to say from the time that I was maybe in the second grade, I do know from where I was born at, we ended up moving to Memphis. And then from Memphis, and then from there we moved to California. Wow. So that's already 2 times.
I'm
right?
going back to Cali.
Okay.
And then in Cali, that's where it
was really.
It was like, okay, we in San Francisco, we like in downtown San Francisco, then it went to 3rd Street in San Francisco, then it went to another borough, or I'm calling it a borough because that's all I could think of, but a borough in San Francisco. Then it went to Pacifica, then it went to Daly City, and it was a couple places in Daly City, and then it went to where else did we go? Oh crap, we lived in Hayward. We lived a couple places in Hayward. Moved to Oakland, then lived in Oakland in a couple places. So it literally like back to back, and then me moving to college, and then me living in college and away from home and all that stuff, and then moving back to another place that my mom initially wasn't at when I left for college. So moving to a whole nother place, and then moving to Florida, and then staying in one place in Florida, and then get married and moving, to another place with my then husband, and then that didn't work out, and then moving to my own apartment somewhere else, and then moving to where else did I move to? I moved to one apartment, then moved back home with my parents, and then moved back into another apartment, and then moved to Central Florida. So I have moved a whole bunch. So to say the amount of people that I've met in that time frame, that's a lot of people. So I don't like to move.
I know why.
I don't like to move.
I understand.
So I'm literally at a point now where I'm just like, I want to stay put where I'm at. Like, I don't want to go anywhere else. And so, saying all that to talk about, meeting different people, I literally, you tend to think, okay, this is where we gonna be at. And then you start
Literally
then you uproot it and, okay, mama got to move somewhere else. Okay, we got to move somewhere else. And so it's just been so many times that I've had to move that when I finally felt like I got a connection with someone, it was like, then she moved away. And it was like, wow. And me and her are still friends to this day. We actually talk literally all the time. And she's in Atlanta now, but yeah, we met in the summer right before high school. Yeah, we met the summer right before high school. And we've been friends since we've been 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, she's probably my longest friend that I keep in contact with. I see people on Facebook, but the people that I actually talk to, like she's probably the oldest.
Actually hit up your phone.
Yeah. She's the oldest friend that I have, the longest friend, should I say, that I have.
Because if we didn't have Facebook, how many we would actually keep in contact
This
with?
is so true. This is so what would happen if we didn't have Facebook? Like, how many people would we really, like you said, keep in contact with? But it makes me appreciate the friends that I have, like, in which there was a time period kind of moving on from being an adolescent to like middle school or teenage years. You think you have friends, and then you realize that some people really weren't your friend.
Right.
And then when you guys get older, y'all might say hey or whatever. But the people that I've met as a young adult are the people that are still my friends. Now, it's not to say that I haven't, still talked to a couple of the people from when I was in high school and stuff like that. But as far as my friends, the people that I really call friend, like those individuals
on a regular.
Yeah, it's not a lot of them.
Yeah. It's like there's different categories and levels of friendship. There's the ones that you're really close knit with, those that you talk to on a regular, those who randomly hit you up just out the blue, like, hey, how you doing, bro? Like, you straight, you good? Just checking in. And then you got those friends that you went to school with that there's a mutual respect level there. And like, I have classmates that still reach out to me and be like, hey, bro, congratulations on your posts and things like that. And so there's like a few off the top of my head that I know for a fact that I keep in contact with just through the sake of Facebook.
Right.
I really had to compartmentalize like who were actually friends,
right,
and who were actually associates, and those who were just people I just got mutual respect for. Ain't no love lost.
Right.
There's no
That's
disrespect.
a good point.
That's just we just don't talk like that because we haven't really built that relationship like that.
Right.
I'm a person that I'm very intentional when it comes to relationships. So. And friendships, so I don't want to be the only one reaching out. Like,
right.
I want to say like the last 3 years, I was done with one-sided relationships and friendships. I was done.
Oh no, I feel you on that because
I'm not fit to keep putting in the work, and you don't want to work.
I will literally say that since I've moved to where I am now. Prior to me moving here, like people were consistently at my house. People were consistently like, okay, Key got the, she got the place. That's where everybody gonna be at. And then when I moved here, a lot of that went silent. Like I didn't hear from any of them. And then when I would reach out and be like, hey, I would even try to reach out on Facebook or I either text and be like, hey, when you coming down here? And I would see some of them coming down here having to pass my house to get to where they're going in Orlando. And I was just like, wow. Like, it's like I feel like I gotta beg you to
Pretty
just
much.
come by and say hello.
Yeah.
When like it was just like, but you were always at my house, and you know, I was there for you. We, you know, it was just so much. And so I feel like for me, like now it's really showing me, like I get that people are busy, but now it's just showing for me like who really, really
Listen, people are
would
busy,
care.
but they're not that busy because they make time for what they want to make time for.
Oh, I've come to learn that. I've really come to learn that. And I'm at a place now where I'm just like, I just know where we stand.
Exactly.
I have no love lost, like you said, but I just know where we stand.
It doesn't make me treat you any different.
Right.
Just like you said, I just know where we stand. And
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
cool.
So now, B Wonder, now since you're an adult, I want you to tell me how do you know, or excuse me, who is your Bonnie? Who is your Bonnie or Clyde? Like you don't have to give their name or anything, but when was that relationship or that friendship formed? Was that in adult years, or was that like from way back when you were in school? Or who's the people that you consider to be a Bonnie or Clyde? Where were those relationships formed?
Well, one of them is my childhood friend.
Okay.
Like one of my brothers, which was like my initial best friend, because like he literally lived up the road from me. Like our moms was best friend. Like our family was family. So he literally was pretty much family. Like we didn't allow blood not to be an issue to where it wasn't that we didn't treat each other like family. So man, we had so much fun. We had super soakers. Like he used to had BB guns. Like
Y'all was bad. Y'all was bad.
He was not bad.
Y'all was bad.
Yeah.
Y'all, they was bad. He don't even want to admit it now. See? And this didn't happen long time ago. And he don't even want to admit
He
they was
had
bad.
the BB gun. I never had BB gun, but he showed.
It's only because he got the mic, y'all. That's all.
So it's like that now. Oh. No, but we had so much fun during our childhood and like growing up. He's staying Clearwater now.
Okay.
But we still, keep in contact, just check up on each other. But like he's a prime example of someone who's been there from literally my childhood into now into adulthood. He's married. He has a daughter and son, so it's just like just seeing the progress and how he's moving. Like that blessed me, because from the city where we were from, we had shootings every weekend. There was always somebody fighting, somebody getting shot. So it's just like, man, okay. Like funerals was jumping like the trap house.
No.
Like I'm telling you, funerals like literally
Was
like
it the
every
repass?
weekend.
Was it the repass? That's where they was turning up at the repass.
Listen,
That's not good. That's not good.
And that's another thing. That's another time for a situation. Another time. Yeah, but and then there's another brother of mine who's really close. He lives in Atlanta. You know who he is, and I met him like 2008, 2009. I had an album release party, actually a concert with B-Dub and friends, and he was one that we had mutual friends. We knew mutual people, but we didn't know each other. And so we talked, we chopped. But the crazy part is, it's like when we met, we was cool. We had respect for each other, but you just know certain situations or people you meet, it's like, okay, that's not gonna be long term. Like that was short.
Yeah, you can kind of get the vibe.
But it was just like afterwards, I had performed a song that I did. I think it was called Trust Me. It's like, bro, like the record that you did spoke the epitome of my life.
Wow.
And we stayed connected, we stayed close, and then the crazy thing, a situation happened, and then it caused us to be able to even like build a closer bond. And then from that point and moment on, like we kept the real. And the crazy thing is, like, we went through the same thing at the same time. Bad record labels that we was dealing with, like issues with things going on, to where we felt like we weren't as appreciated as we could have been. Like it was just a lot of things that we were dealing with at the same time. And so I would often he had moved to Jacksonville for a little bit, a little bit. And I would just pull up. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
when you have that kind of fellowship and that kind of friendship,
Mm-hmm.
like, and your brother's going through something crazy, like
wanna be
just,
there for
you
him.
just pull up. You know, and vice versa. He did.
I
the
wish
same
I
for
could
me.
do that. It's crazy. I be working so much.
And but see, we're working on something that's gonna help you be able to focus and have your own thing. You heard me, and you be on your own
You
schedule
heard
and
me. I
time.
will receive that.
But yeah, and for me, it's just knowing people who are always intentional to me too.
Right.
It's mutual,
Right.
and it's not always one-sided at
One-sided.
all.
So, do you know, for these two brothers that you just mentioned, like, it sounds like that these people were here for you through good times and through bad times.
Oh yeah.
These people, you feel you can trust them. You know, like the conversations that you have is not going to go anywhere.
Right.
Like, I think that that's important.
Very.
I know Keisha V, our life coach, she's not here, but
Keisha.
she actually has said it before. She would say it all the time. Everybody has a tail. So it's very important that we have an understanding that when we talk about, you know, friends, like real, true friends, we have to make sure that we're not using that term very loosely, because
Man.
everybody is not your friend. Because my friends were telling me there was a period of time where I was like, oh no, I got 10 besties. And they was looking at me like, no, you don't. And I was like, yes, I do. This person been here for me for this. This person been here for me for that. Like, everybody serves their purpose. And I was really deceiving myself, because everybody that was in that circle had been there for me at some point time in my life of something that I needed.
Right.
But when it came time for me to, when I was going through like super difficult stuff, like some of those people weren't the people that I could call. And so
you probably had what, about eight
so
out there and 2 available.
The thing was, everybody had a different dynamic. Some people were married and some people were not. So, you know, that kind of changes
a whole lot.
the dynamics at times too. So you have an understanding that some people just can't because of the season that they're in. And it wasn't that they weren't my friend. It was just that because of, you know, things that they were going through.
And that's another thing that we can do also, like recognizing the seasons that people are in your life for, and not holding on to those who are supposed to be seasonal and trying to make them permanent.
And see, I've been the person, and this has been my issue, is that I've always tried to make everybody in my life permanent. That's an issue.
Guilty.
And that has been
Guilty.
that has been a downfall for me, honestly, because some of the people who I really thought, who said that they would be here with me until the end, left. And for whatever reasons. And so at the end of the day, it's just like, excuse me, at the end of the day, who can you trust to tell your truth to when you're going through stuff? Who can you really trust? Because if people are seasonal, when you're at your most vulnerable place and you've shared stuff with them and now they're gone, then what happens? Because now that person is not in your life anymore, and you don't know what they gonna do. You don't know what they gonna repeat. You don't know, you know, what they're gonna say. So
exactly.
And that's because I always made people permanent when
they were just seasonal. It's like they're supposed to pitch a tent, but they started building a building. There's just ones that's supposed to pitch a tent, do what they do, take their tent and go on to the next person. And one thing I'm very mindful of too is that I'm very careful of how I say that they haven't been there for me. And I'm very careful of that because a lot of times we'll take one time that they weren't able to come with very good and reason. We'll hold that against them over
Forever.
the other times that they have been there, that they just came when you didn't even know they were coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I have another great friend in Tampa, and he just pops up like a lot of times where I didn't even know he was coming. I was like, "What's up, man? What's up?" You know what? No, you want bro for life. And we've been friends like for years. And even though we don't talk, he has a family a lot as often as we would like. And I understand where he's at in the season he's in. So when we do link up, there's no love lost because it's the same.
Right.
Like, it's genuine. And
it should be like that.
it should always be like that. And then there's other friends that I understand where we're at that I guess I wouldn't so much call them friends, but somebody I really respect and close with to an extent.
You're good associates.
Yeah, very good associates.
Gotcha.
Very.
Gotcha.
Sometimes if you're not careful, you can mix the two.
You can. And I think that we had talked about this, like, I don't know if it was offline or if it's something that we talked about on a previous podcast. But I will say that we talked about when people do stuff for us, certain things for us, and then we just automatically make them our best friend. And we can't do that. And
that's the gullible person in us.
And that, yes, because that has so been me. It's that maybe because, I traveled, maybe that takes, that plays a part as to why when I meet people, like, I want everybody to be permanent because I've always had to leave. And I was tired of leaving, and I would just want people to be there. And so when that doesn't happen,
and it's so parallel to when someone do something nice for you, you think they like you.
That's true.
It is so parallel. You be like,
or they like your posts.
And like, okay.
Oh, you like my post? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Get over yourself. So it's really like that. That is true. Can you trust the people who you consider your best friend? And I don't use the word friend loosely. I just can't. I can't afford not to, because I have to guard my heart too. I have to be mindful of who's consistent, who's not.
Right.
And that's what it boils down to.
I completely agree.
And so right now we're going to get into the artist spotlight of the evening. And before we do that, we're going to show you 3 things that you can do to change your support system if you're feeling like there's a lack of support, if you feel like there is that pretty much is just dry bones. It's just a dry season. It's just it's desert storm. Like, hey, listen, you got a dry phone. Everybody has had a season to where their phone was just dry as the Sahara Desert. And so right now we're going to get into the artist spotlight, and it's our homie. He's real good people, man. I met him in Nashville like years ago when he first started really popping on the scene, and he started really getting a name for himself.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
I met him in where was that? Not in Tallahassee, in Daytona. I met him in Daytona, I believe, on the Uncle Reese tour, on the boat tour. He was on that. Yeah. I didn't even know who he was, but so many people did, and I was like, I feel bad. I don't know who this dude is. All these people know.
And when I met him, this was my first time going to the GMA, to the Doves, and I think, because this was at BB King's, and this was like the after parties that we would always go to. So it'd be like, it was actually during the Stellars. I'm sorry, the Stellar Awards when they used to be in Nashville, and so they would do all these after parties, and BB King's would be one of the most requested spots that people set up their events for there. And then of course Bonafide Radio too. Shout out to Bonafide, to Jared. But this artist that we're bringing up is none other than Jor'dan Armstrong, off the album 52 Weeks of Summer.
52 Weeks of Summer. Ooh. That sounds hot in Florida.
Really hot, and it's the real one featuring IZ. Let's go.
Oh, it's IZ, not Is.
I'm thinking it's Is IZ, and apologize if I got it wrong. I'm just a
Brother
man.
IZ, brother Is, we is sorry.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get into the real one.
Came through just to heat it up. Going down for no reason. Yep, it's my season. God got us on the re-up. We want it all back. Yeah, right, I need all that. We in the moment. Song, you know it. You should get used to this feeling. Energy up to the ceiling. Front to the back of the building. Throw your hands up for the realest. Yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin', yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin' with the real one.
Best friend,
We rockin' with the real one.
best friend.
We rockin' with
Her best friend told her come through. Bible studies at 11, who invited you? I proposed and we said a prayer, so keep it cool. I got Welch's at communion, why you tryna brew? I got Chase on the line with my account, trying to find out why girls chasing accounts. He broke but he loved God, so why you tryna bounce? You don't want a good man, that's a check, that's finna bounce. I've been finessing since 85, but I've been breathing since 92, put down that 40. Bathroom, that's 2 stories, but booze on my floor, cocoons on that whip though. I thought I might rent those, I brought back the Pinto on Chris show, that's West Coast if you didn't know. I didn't neither did my chrome. Married to keep her kids in yellow bone.
Yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin', yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin' with the real one. We rockin' with the real one. We rockin' with the
$100 million meals, yeah, we tryna eat. JD pull up in the Jeep, California heat.
California street, riding in a rental. Me and all my bros hanging out the window.
Nah, we ain't sleeping on the porch. Got a mansion up in heaven, we endorse.
When we show up, everybody gon' see us.
But they don't really see us.
Nah, they don't really see us. God in the way. Yeah, used to this feeling.
You know we hit a party, yeah, we going up.
Energy up to the ceiling. Yeah, I'm feeling good, I'm finna elevate. Front to the back of the building.
Yeah, we acting out, we just tryna make it sick.
Throw your hands up for the realest.
You already know.
Yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin', yeah, we rockin' with the real one. Yeah, we rockin' with the real one. We rockin' with the real one. We rockin' with the
And that was the one and only Jor'dan Armstrong.
Shut it down.
Yes, that dude is extremely talented.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, we're rocking with the real
That's
one.
my favorite album from him.
I love that song,
He
and
got a lot of dope albums.
he's got
music.
some good credits though.
For real.
He's got some really good credits.
He put in that work.
He really is, and he's from when I met him, he was very humble and he wasn't like showy or anything
At
like
all.
that.
He's
So I
always
really
been like that and still like that to this day.
I appreciate that, and I see him on all kind of red carpets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But anywho, we gonna get right back into the topic, the pink elephant, which we're talking about the real ones. And in the song, Jor'dan was talking about the real one, and so was Is, and they was just talking about how God is the real one. He is the one that is always going to be there for you. So, like, that's the real one. If you looking for somebody that's real, like, he's the real one.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
I really would.
Okay, so
Very much so.
before we went to the artist spotlight, we were talking about 3 things you can do to change your support system.
Yes.
When you're feeling like you have a lack of support. And we did a little bit of research.
We did.
So this dude named J.S. Wayne, he came up with a few things, a little bit more than what we gonna share today. But we gonna give you a few nuggets here.
Yes.
One of the things was change your circle.
Mm-hmm.
Change your circle. You can't stay around the same people.
No.
If you're not feeling supported there, and you know that your circle really does not give you what you need, then you gotta change it.
Yep, you got to reevaluate, which is reason number 2. Analyze the reason you don't feel supported. Like, you have to understand and know why. Because sometimes we could make up things in our mind that aren't true because we harbor the hurt,
right,
and the pain and the rejection that we feel. So it's like, and the enemy will just use that as bait to even just flood your mind with, well, see, he ain't like he said he was, or they ain't supporting you, they don't love you like they say they do. Like,
right.
So you have to really analyze the reason you don't feel supported, and they have to be very realistic reasons.
Yes.
Not reasons that you feel,
not because you just in your feelings.
Exactly. They have to be realistic feelings that justify the way why you feel the way you feel.
I would agree to that. And I would say the third one would be is to learn how to communicate, because so many issues arise for the lack of communication, and you could feel unsupported just simply because you did not communicate. And people get upset and just expect you to be able to read their minds as to why you did or didn't do something.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden you're in your feelings. Right. So we got to learn how to be good communicators. We have to learn how to use our words when we're feeling, not great. And even when we are feeling great, we know how to communicate when we feeling good.
Exactly.
But when we have times where we're low and we're down, all of a sudden, all of the words simply just go away, and we don't know how to have healthy discussions when we may possibly disagree with somebody. Exactly.
And this brings to the point, and I really want you to analyze your life when I ask you this, because only you can stop that vicious cycle. Only you can stop that toxicity, whether it's just whatever's made up in your mind or if it's even true. But this is something that you have to really ask, like, who's really in charge of your life? That's
really good. Who really is in charge of your life? Because who's making the decisions for your life? Is it your support system? Is it you?
Is it your emotions?
Is it your emotions? Yes.
Like, what's running your life? Like,
yes.
If you're not the general and head chief in charge of your life, and if you're not analyzing, and if you're not communicating, and if you're like, people get so stuck in the same cycle, say, well, they ain't doing this and they ain't doing that. Well, why are you there? Why are you standing around?
Exactly. So who is in charge of your life? Of course, we're saying after God, of course, right? You're submitted to God, but we're just
still
saying
got work to do.
Yes,
like,
we do.
Can't leave God. God done did all the work. Like,
right.
We are literally meeting Him halfway from what He already paved the way for.
This is so true.
That's why He said, "Draw nigh unto me, as I draw nigh unto you."
I 100% agree with you, brother.
So we leave them with 2 tips of the day. And the first tip is value those that support you with nothing to gain.
I like that.
I do too, because I think what will also help is lowering our expectation of those who we feel like owe us something when they really don't.
This is true.
Bible says the man only owe you nothing but love. That's it.
And I think many times when, especially in this day and age, a lot of people are looking to get something, and that's why it's difficult to find somebody who really, really, we can,
genuine.
Yeah, we can say it's genuine, it's loyal, and, is really there for us because they have nothing to gain out of our lives.
Exactly.
And it's unfortunate, but it happens all the time. I'm going to go ahead and share our last tip.
Okay.
Or should I say our second tip, which is the last tip. Your life is your story. Write well and edit often. This is so.
I'm going to repost this on my Facebook.
Oh, I am too, brother. I am too. I am too. Again, your life is your story.
Yes.
You're going to be writing it as you go through life.
You're the
but
author.
You're always going to have some edits because we make mistakes. So I thought that was a very good quote.
I thought so too.
I thought it was wonderful and
so.
delightful. But that was our show for today. That was our episode. And I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk about,
Yes. What people really want to talk about. They don't get a chance to talk to who the person they would desire to talk to about what they want to talk to about, but they don't.
And really kind of evaluate your circle. Evaluate the people that are around you. Are they pulling you down? Are they keeping you in trouble? Are they always doing something that's contrary to what you know is right? You want to make sure that you know your circle, and then always make sure that you're not always the person that's giving in the friendship, and that you're not always the person that is reaching out, that is doing for the other without, some give and take to that. Now, every dynamic of friendships are different. So there may be seasons where one friend goes through a lot, and so that other friend has to be the one to be there for them a lot.
Because
but
they're not
on
in the position.
Exactly. So on the flip side, seasons can change.
It can. it really can. And it does. There's 4 seasons in a year, so it does change.
I don't want friends to change that often.
I don't either, but hey, you don't know what you get until you're actually in the fire.
Oh boy. With that stated, with that fire burning, let's go ahead and let's share with them our handles. Boy Wonder, what's your handles so that the people can reach out to you and talk to you?
My handle is changing my circle. My handle is communicating.
Okay.
My handle is analyzing the reason that I feel why I feel.
He has absolutely no idea what he just said.
I did, and I do it. I say it again. My handles are official B Wonder for Instagram and Twitter. Official Boy Wonder, BOYWONDA. I have to say that all the time because people still people that know me for years, they still use the ER. I was like, really? Okay.
Boy Wonder.
Thank you. So it's just cool though. It's all love. Also, you can check out my website with merch and CDs, nogroundnoglory.net. And I got a new single, Gutter to Glory, and we just dropped a new video. So you can check that out on youtube.com/nogroundnoglory. And Gutter to Glory featuring Tim Moses. So I appreciate all the love and the support, getting good feedback, great feedback.
Awesome.
Let's run the numbers up.
Run them up.
Let's make history.
Run them up.
Run it up. Run it up. Run it up. Run it up. Run it up. Run it up.
What's
your handles?
And our handles, should I say, for the podcast for the LOL with QuiQui Symone is LOL with QuiQui Symone. Go to YouTube and subscribe today. If you are not subscribed, listen, like, and subscribe. You can go through. We have a whole bunch of episodes out there already, so go ahead and subscribe. You can also go and follow us on IG at LOL with QuiQui Symone, and that's QuiQuiSymone. And also, if you want to follow me on my personal page, you can. That's QuiQui Symone. And also, we do have a Facebook page, which is QuiQui Symone, QuiQuiSymone. And I think I'll start doing that. I think that'll be dope, right?
Go ahead.
And so we again thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, we will see you. Well, holla.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up.
Martin didn't want us to leave. Martin did not want us to leave. So I really thought that was pretty dope. Who can Martin talk to right before we leave? I want to see who can he talk to right before we leave.
Yeah, who you want to talk to?
Does he want to talk to Granny?
Yeah, he ain't got no choice.
He ain't got no choice but to talk to Granny?
He ain't got no choice to talk to me.
Well, he said, hold up.
I held up all 82 years. I'm tired of holding.
Oh, gosh. Well, Granny, I'm going to talk to you a little bit right now. So until then, thank y'all again for listening. We'll talk to y'all later.
you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP, leave you Don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with